My husband says social drinking relaxes him, but he's not very relaxed when he comes home at night. He's always ready to pick a fight. I don't think he's an alcoholic, even though I think he drinks too much. My psychiatrist suggested I try Al-Anon family groups. I was surprised at how quickly I found help at Al-Anon. Are you troubled by someone's drinking? You might be surprised at what you could learn in an Al-Anon family group meeting from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or visit alanonfamilygroups.org.
Real country weather.
It'll be sunny today with a high near 85 degrees. Tonight it'll be mostly clear with the low right around 63. Then tomorrow it'll be sunny and hot with a high near 96 and winds out of the south at 10 all the way up to 25 miles an hour.
This is the award-winning broadcast of Healthy University, bringing health and vitality to you and your family, brought to you by Scotland County Hospital in Memphis. Now, here's your host, Dr. Randy Tobler.
Doctor, my eyes have seen the year and the slow parade of fear.
And welcome to another edition of Healthy You. I am Dr. Randy Tobler, along with Bud Wilson, back from assignment. Good to have you back, Bud.
It was risky in the Middle East, but
Yeah.
I survived it.
Yeah, did you have your African camo hat on? And,
Yes,
yeah?
I did.
Well, you were in the Middle East.
And I had a two-hump camel.
You
so,
did?
So it was easier to ride than the one hump. But, yeah, I'm back. I made it.
If you ride a camel on Wednesday, is it a two-hump day then?
Yeah, well, it's a hump day. I don't know if it's a two-hump day or not. That's probably a misnomer of some kind. Wednesday is always hump day, but I don't know. If you had a Wednesday and it was a two-hump day, what would that mean? I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, I'm glad to be back. A beautiful day out there,
is.
low humidity. It was unbelievable this morning, and folks, you get one more morning like that tomorrow morning. And
Why?
then,
What's up?
well, after that, it's going to get hot. So enjoy tomorrow morning.
Is that Rick Fisher's meteorological forecast?
No, that's Bud's pulled it out of the hat one.
Yeah.
But I saw all kinds of people out walking today. I was really encouraged by that this morning. They're out all over this town.
And I hear there were throngs of children and their parents and families up on the square
Yes,
on
indeed.
Saturday. We have to give a big shout out. I wish we have to get the managers of the station to give me a little hot button with some applause here. Because, I mean, it was really amazing. I heard that the turnout was estimated at a couple hundred kids and their families. And it was all about the kids' safety day, but it was a fun safety day.
Yeah.
That the Scotland County Hospital Emergency Department put on, the EMS squad, right?
Yep, that's right.
And they had, so now the kids will all be safe all summer and, well, they'll be safer all summer, right?
They'll be safer. There's things they've learned.
That's good.
And it was a compilation of all those different groups, like the Highway Patrol and Fire Department and all those different things like that.
Yeah.
And I do need to say one thing, a little light housekeeping. A week from tomorrow, that will be Wednesday, July 4th, Memphis Medical Services and Lancaster Medical Services will be closed, and then both will be open on Thursday for regular business hours.
But if there's any urgent problems, always, come to the emergency room, and there's staff 24/7 with
Absolutely.
docs and nurses
Sure.
and emergency staff.
You betcha.
And if you need an x-ray, we can provide that too, because you're out frolicking on the 4th of July and you break something. We hope that doesn't
Frolicking.
happen. Frolicking on the 4th.
Slip and slides on the 4th of July. I have a feeling are probably reason to
Do
have
they
to
still
go to
do
the-
slip and slides?
Oh, well, if you're 5 or 6 years old, they do. If you're 56 or 66, probably not.
There's a little...
No, we just wait. No, we just go wherever the horse has worn a path and wait for a rainy day.
Ooh. Hey, I was going to say, speaking of Lancaster Medical Services, that's
Yes.
going to be closed on Wednesday. Dr. Whitlock.
Yes,
is
Dr.
joining us.
Whitlock
Let's make
returns
that
to
happen.
Lancaster.
Welcome
Where's that
back,
button at?
Doc.
Push
It's
the button.
great.
Yeah.
It's great. And
Welcome back. 5 days a week.
5 days a week,
Awesome.
9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Make an appointment anytime with you, 9
And
to 5.
everyone in the area, of course, knows Dr. Whitlock and
Absolutely.
has his Happy Acres farm. Is that right?
Yep.
Just south of the Lancaster there.
Just a
Lots
little
of
bit.
sheep. Just
Yeah.
lots of sheep.
Lots of
Yeah.
sheep
Lots of sheep.
and
Lots of ewes. Lots
yeah,
of bucks. Lots
yeah.
of lambs.
So it's going to be really great to welcome him
back.
back. And
bet.
he'll be starting on the 2nd, right?
You bet.
So he starts Monday.
Already making appointments for him, I understand, from the girls over at Lancaster
And if you'd like to make an appointment, the number is...
660-457-3655.
Good job.
Listen to that brain. Listen to
That's
that
not a
brain in action.
There's no brain in there. Trust
can
me.
see
Just
from
like
his eyes. He was
like a
pulling that
steel
from some
trap,
file.
You know-
conjuring the number out from the depths of his neuronal structure there. Bud
Oh,
Wilson,
You're too good to me. Doc.
at your service.
Did you see that thing on obesity about the fact that people should consider their BMI now? I know a lot of people say, BMI is this or it's that or it's something else. But they're saying that people should be considering that number as one of their vital statistics, like they watch their blood pressure.
Like a vital
closely.
sign? Yeah.
Yeah, and that they should have that as one of their vital statistics and be talking to their doctors about what they need to do for that.
For most folks, the BMI is a decent number, but for especially for people like our guest that'll join us here in a minute, Angela Hawes, I'm sure it's low, but she's so muscular that it could potentially be high.
It offsets
so
it,
you have
but-
to be careful about that.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
do.
as good as a triceps fat fold.
Well,
but we don't all do that.
But the BMI scale, almost every BMI scale I've seen, wherever it was, had a little disclaimer down at the bottom, like the little sliding ramp does for the kids.
Right?
and the firework that says light fuse and get away.
There you go.
Well, this one says, that if like in Angela's case,
Yes.
where a person is
Yes.
muscular, that they need to take that into consideration because it does offset the scale and throw it out of kilter. Oh,
Again.
but for me, that I would have that
I know.
situation to deal
Wish
with.
that I had that problem. How you doing, Angela? Welcome to the program. We might as well get you on the air here because she is, of course, the supervisor. Angela Hawes, of course, the supervisor of the radiology department, which encompasses a lot of different services, and is the last, but certainly not the least, part of the hospital expansion, renovation, build out. Everything that hospital palooza that we've been undergoing here for the couple years. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And I know that you are a very athletic person. I think were you doing the Insanity program?
I was.
And then you started working out. Just kidding. No. And that is a good segue because sometimes in radiology it is insanity. I mean, as far as trying to manage, you're being called to the ER and then someone on the floor needs a chest x-ray. And oh, by the way, I have someone in the clinic who needs an ultrasound. And it can be just chaotic, can't it?
I'd say in our job, you have to be able to think on your feet pretty quick and problem solve, which I have some of the best staff to do that. So.
That's very true. They're awesome.
And,
They are.
because it's a highly technical and technological area, the ongoing education and certification, and I know you like to joke about you had to take a physics course, basically, to learn about how ultrasound physics works and everything.
I did, and then they made me take a test. Go figure. But
all of them have to be multitaskers because they know how to operate all those complex machines.
I have a tech that does ultrasound, CT, mammo, and X-ray. Now you got to be pretty smart to be able to do all that.
Yeah, and that's Jenny.
Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny Mel. Yeah.
Wonderful Jenny.
And she does a great job on mammograms, by the way. For those,
She's very quiet,
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to get her to open up, but she's a dynamite tech.
She is.
And the mammograms will be opening up again soon, and we want to talk about that.
Correct.
And but she does a great job of for women who are concerned that it's going to be owie and hurt and torture chamber. She is very gentle technique and yet does a great job too. So that's a real art to getting a good mammogram.
It
and not
is.
making it
And
hurt.
luckily, Jenny trained Deanna Rowland, my other mammo tech, and between the two of them, people call in there just because those two are doing the mammos.
Yeah,
They really like them.
So we're going to talk as the program moves along here about radiology issues, about the expansion at the hospital. It's a fabulous looking and obviously a fabulously functional area there now. And then answer your questions, too, because you may have a question for Angela concerning PrEP or what is this test and my doctor's ordered that and what in the world am I getting myself into? And so we'll invite you to give us a buzz and talk about that. And we are going to unveil, sort of virtually unveil a real exciting piece of equipment.
Okay.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean a 65 Mustang all refurbished for you. But
Oh, I saw it on the radio.
and I know Angela's just hankering to get that out to you because it is an exciting thing. Again, the numbers are?
Yeah, 1-800-748-7875 and 465-7225.
You're listening to Healthy You on KMEM 100.5. Stay there.
1,000 feet above could be Oklahoma. Just a bunch of square cornfields and wheat farms, man, it all looks the same. Miles and miles of back roads and highways connecting little towns with funny names. Who'd want to live down there in the middle of nowhere? They've never drove through Indiana, met the man who plowed that earth, planted that seed, busted his ass for you and me. You're called a harvest moon in Kansas, and they'd understand why God made those flyover states.
If you are going to need floor covering soon, stop in at Carpet One at 2915 North Baltimore in Kirksville. Stop by, visit with Justin, and browse the huge selection of flooring at Carpet One in Kirksville. For a limited time, they have 50% off on select carpet and huge savings on wood and vinyl flooring. And listen to this. Mention that you heard this ad on KMM and received one room of carpet installed for free. That's Carpet One in Kirksville.
Are you a teenager in a relationship? Are you making wise choices? Every choice you make has consequences for good or for bad and will impact your future. Others may tell you to just use protection, but what about emotional and spiritual protection for your heart? Abstinence means waiting for marriage. Abstinence protects against pregnancy, life-threatening diseases, and abstinence protects your heart from being broken. If you would like more information about abstinence, call Memphis Area Pregnancy Care Center at 660-465-7179.
A few years ago, I noticed my vision getting blurry, and things I do every day, like reading and driving, were becoming more difficult. I thought it was part of getting older, but I was wrong. I have a disease called age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. It's the leading cause of blindness in people 55 and older. The good news is there are treatments that can reduce vision loss from AMD. Plus, there are things you can do now to lower your risk of getting it in the first place. The Foundation Fighting Blindness provides information about preventing and managing AMD. Call the Foundation today at 800-585-0516 for a free AMD packet and take the first step toward protecting your vision. I'm thankful I found out about my AMD early enough to still be able to drive and see the faces of my loved ones. Call 800-585-0516 and get your free AMD packet. You'll be glad you did.
Hey everybody, Wade Bourne here, inviting you to join me weekdays for the Pros Pointers Report at 7:45 a.m. on KMEM, brought to you by Hopkins Lumber in Memphis. Or tune in for the Pros Pointers Report at 5:45 p.m., brought to you by Bloomfield Tire in Bloomfield, Iowa. Either way, you'll hear the latest hunting and fishing information from the experts in outdoor sports on the Pros Pointers Radio, right here on 100.5 KMEM FM, Memphis, Missouri.
Hey, John, freeze! John, what the heck are you doing?
Mike, you told me to freeze, so I stopped moving.
I meant give me that freeze highlight, big boy. Swing and a high drive to center field. Get up, baby! Get up, baby! Get up! Oh, yeah! David Freeze has just sent us into game number 7. I could hear that thing all day long. Listen to the Cardinals.
On your Cardinal connection in the tri-state, KMEM Memphis, Missouri.
What a night. What an evening of baseball.
And if I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and up, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. That's life.
And we're back here on Healthy You with Angela Hawes, supervisor of the radiology department at Scotland County Hospital, and talking about X-ray dosing off the air because it's such a big topic these days. I'm not Well, I know I'm not old enough to probably have had that done. Maybe, well, not Bud even, but maybe Bud was. But back in the 50s and 60s, we heard, Angela, about stories about people getting in the regular old shoe store, go to get fit for a pair of shoes. Maybe John Cook can call us. I don't know. Maybe he'd know about that. I don't know if they ever did it here at Cook's Men's Store, but getting there, turning on the fluoroscope machine, and you could see your feet, your bones of your feet, because they'd turn on x-rays. And we found out later there was a correlation between then as young people and adults getting thyroid cancer. Now, the latest version of that is, with a lot of CT scans and us doing more and more imaging, there's been concerns in the profession and, of course, in the news, probably overhyped, over x-ray exposure and cancer risk. What say you?
I think for the public to understand that for overexposure of x-ray, you'd have to have several hundred chest x-rays or equivalent to have a problem, and most of us just don't have that in a year's time. The CT exposure, that was a big problem a couple years ago, and they were really worried about it. But they have come up with at least on our CT scanner, we have a feature called Smart MA. We use it with every single scan that we do, and it lowers the dose on every single slice that scanner takes to the lowest dose possible for that patient. And then I do a QA study or a quality assurance study on that, and I turn that in quarterly, and we have one of the lowest doses that I've seen. Now, they don't have any set numbers, the state doesn't, but I try to go by what, I always contact them and see what would be the recommended dose, and they tell me, and we go by that.
And there are professional standards, too. And I know the radiologist, Dr. Hassan and his group, who do the radiology reading for the hospital, they have their own professional standards. And there's, I know that at medical staff meetings, when you present your reports from time to time, that you talk about a physicist who actually does work, right? And who and takes a look at the actual, how many photons or whatever gamma rays and X-rays are hitting our body and the energy level involved, right?
We have a great physicist, Dr. John Erickson, and he will check it for me if I have any question, and then he gives me a report, and we use that every year. We have our equipment checked. Every single year we have everything that produces radiation checked by this physicist. So it's cleared, he checks the dosage, and we're always, so far, good to go.
And what's interesting is, I think people automatically think, wow, CT, high tech, lots of neat stuff going around me, whizzing around while I'm getting that test. Must be a lot of radiation. Here's a study from an NIH-funded study last year. 20% reduction in deaths from lung cancer among current or former heavy smokers who were screened with low dose CT versus those screened by chest x-ray. So you may pay a little more price in radiation by getting a CT, but as you said, it's what you hear on USA Today and CNN and Fox, tends to be a little bit overblown, but look at the payoff.
Right.
1/5 reduction because you pick up things much earlier. So, it's always a risk versus benefit.
So we're looking at a piece of equipment that literally detects the density of the human body that it's turned on
with
and determines
every slice.
With every slice. That's pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah. And we have a new machine. You have a new toy over there, right? Tell us about your new toy.
Well, technically, it's not a new toy. It's new software and new detectors, which upgraded our CT scanner that we had before, which was a 32-slice GE, to a 64-slice GE. Now, that being said, in our budget, we have budgeted for the workstation that goes along with this, and with our new orthopedic surgeon that's coming, Dr. Weaver, we are going to be able to do amazing stuff with that when we get the workstation. We're excited. My staff is very excited. It's not going to change the way they operate anything. This will be simply a computer that changes all those images, 64 slices it'll take per turn of that CT scanner. So it'll take all those images, and it's going to do what it needs to do in the computer to reformat it and make it look like a 3D picture.
So I guess what you're saying is, if this was the Honey Baked Ham store, the slices are going, for every round of the slicing machine, you're getting further down the body. You're making more, right? You're making more progress for less radiation payoff.
Correct.
Is that what we're talking about?
That spiral ham is getting more slices through it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But more detail, a lot more detail.
Yeah. And now you would be if you were getting your CT, you would be the spiral sliced, sirloin steak because you're all lean. I'm the spiral ham. Okay, let's make that perfectly clear here. No, but that's really what it does, right? Because it's moving down your body or up your body, whichever way you go. And as that thing is rotating around you, it's taking pictures the whole time, right? It's
Correct.
amazing.
I don't know how many people out there have had CTs themselves. It's kind of scary when you first go into them. So we have, the Head Start groups, the kindergarten groups, they come out and take a tour so that we can explain to them the machine isn't actually moving. It's just the table sliding through so that it sounds more intimidating than it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty painless, and my staff is so good at keeping everybody calm. And
I know sometimes you have to have people hold their breath for a little while you're getting, CT.
Yes.
Because of the more efficient, as the thing's moving around, it's basically like a faster shutter speed on a camera is the way I think about it. Do they have to hold their breath less long?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I first started
For a
this
shorter
job
time?
17 years ago, we had a single slice CT.
Oh my gosh.
You had to hold your breath for an abdomen.
What did that do
pelvis.
for you?
At the time, it was
Yeah.
wonderful. I mean, it did its job at the time. It was in a trailer parked out back of
here's
the
your slice.
hospital.
Great if you're an athletics swimmer, an Olympic swimmer. Okay, I can hold my breath. Yeah.
You literally hold your breath for 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Now, I mean, I have seen changes. We went from a single slice, then we went to a quad slice, then we went to a 16 slice, then to the 32, and now we're up to the 64. We're talking about 10 to 15 second breath hold. That's it.
Yeah.
And then they're done.
Yeah.
It reduces the motion, especially like in a chest CT. You don't have the motion that you would normally have, even from the heart beating. You wouldn't have the motion that you would normally have on the quad slice or the single slice.
Right.
So it's amazing the picture quality that we have obtained from just upgrading.
And the more precise the picture, the smaller the item you can see, and the more precisely you can try to delineate it from other things around it. I mean, it's just
Correct.
a better picture makes for a more precise interpretation. And compared to with many hospitals in smaller communities and smaller hospitals, I mean, this is a major advance and actually really up there, probably at a much higher percentile than a lot of places our size. Right?
It is. Most small hospitals around us that I've talked to, 16 slices about what they're at. We're very fortunate. We have a great group at our hospital. We're very fortunate the things that we can do there. And I would have never dreamed 17 years ago that I'd be sitting with a 64-slice scanner.
Right.
And the staff to run it. They're amazing. And it's I feel really fortunate. I can't say enough about our hospital and where we've come from 17 years to what we do now.
Well, and not only do you have the staff to run it, you have the radiologist to read it, you have the board who sponsors it, and Marcia who has the vision and leads it. So it takes a village.
It does.
It really does. And we're lucky here, and thanks for all the community support, too, during our build-out, because it's been a little bit painful, I think, for everyone in and out of the hospital. But we're nearing the end of that process, and when are you going to be able to sort of showcase the area, back there? Other than being a patient,
Yeah, probably once they get the area that's right beside me finished, then we'll feel more comfortable having everybody come through. And I apologize to anybody who's called me on the phone and you hear jackhammers in the background because that's...
Oh, I thought that was the MRI machine.
No, just jackhammers. But I'm anxious to get ready to show everything. We're anxious to get Mammo back up and going, and my physicist actually is paying us a visit on Thursday, so we're going to work on that probably before the end of the month or the first of next month. We'll have all of the Mammo up and going. I'll be making a lot of phone calls to people.
Yeah, we have been making a list and checking it twice.
Oh, yes. And I appreciate those who have waited for us and not gone somewhere else because we value you guys so much. So
Absolutely. And, of course, the ultrasound area now is right there on the south side as you enter the area, right?
Well, yeah, if you come in our doors off to the left, on the west side is the ultrasound machine. And then if you look on the opposite side, that's where our mammo unit will be.
Yeah. And the ultrasound area, I mean, I can tell you, that's where I spend most of my time when I visit your department. And it's really much more spacious than the previous area, very private. So that if hubby and, maybe a little kid wants to see the pictures of the new baby on their way, it just is it's a very, very inviting atmosphere.
It is a lot more. We have a lot more space.
Yeah.
And it's just cozy in there now. We just really, really appreciate it. We are going to get a monitor that hang from the ceiling for the moms when we do the OBs to make it more convenient for them. We do have the 3D, 4D capability that will take a picture for you. We don't use it as diagnostic. We just take a picture for the mom. And again, Jenny Mallett, she's wonderful with that.
Yeah.
She does some really awesome pictures of the 3D.
Yeah, and so it's fun to get a little courtesy picture and just get a little 3D picture of the baby. And
we always call it their first photo for their photo album.
That's great. Well, we wanted to get you out here and talk about that. When we come back, I'd like you to talk about some of the special procedures that have been done and that we're capable of here at the hospital, interventional kind of things, and different kind of tests. Because while taking the pictures are important, we can expand what the pictures give us by doing certain things, right? Correct. Contrast and all kinds of fun bells and whistles around. That's Angela. There's Bud. There's Elisa. I'm Randy. Fill up your cup of coffee and join the coffee club here
no
at
test.
Health University.
You don't have to take a test. No copay. Nothing at all like that.
It's sort of like a little study session. I mean, we're all just taking it in.
Just smile for your mammogram.
A little summer course on healthy.
That's it. That's all.
And Angela's going to ask us a few physics questions when we come
back.
No, she won't do it.
If I could remember that.
What are the numbers, Bud?
1-800-748-7875 and 660-465-7225.
More coming up.
To rush would be a crime, 'cause nice and easy does it. Nice and easy does it. Nice and easy does it every time.
Hi, this is Joe Perry and Steven Tyler of Aerosmith for Red. It's okay to rock and roll and party down. Just don't get in that 2,000-pound bullet when you're done and cocked. And please don't drink and drive. Someone that jaded you.
A reminder that friends don't let friends drive drunk. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council, U.S. Department of Transportation, National Association of Broadcasters, and RAD.
New for 2012, Breaker Beach, Iowa's largest wave pool, is now open in Adventure Bay Water Park at Adventureland. The surf's up. Come ride the waves and soak up the sun in oceans of aquatic fun. You'll also enjoy an exciting variety of water slides, swimming pools, private cabana rentals, and Iowa's longest lazy river. It's all included with your admission to Adventureland, open daily at 10 a.m. in Des Moines.
Brownfield, America's trusted ag source, is available on your smartphone anytime, anywhere. Brownfield Mobile instantly brings you current news, ag market information sponsored by Novozymes BioAg, weather, and more. Plus, you can listen to Brownfield News, including grain and livestock reports. Download it to any smartphone today at brownfieldmobile.com.
Use Optimize 400 with LCO promoter technology in soybeans for enhanced roots, excellent plant growth, and great ROI. Ask your retailer for Optimize 400 from Novozymes BioAg.
When every moment matters and a life is saved, when someone gives blood, when a hand reaches out, that moment when heartbreak turns to hope, you're there through the American Red Cross. Down the street, across the country, around the world, you help save the day. Every day. Your support truly matters. You can help today. Visit redcross.org.
The motto of the Missouri State Highway Patrol is service and protection. Our hotline numbers help the public notify us of an emergency, the presence of marijuana or methamphetamine, or allow us to support victims who need it. Call 1-800-BAD-WEED to report the presence of marijuana. Call 1-888-823-METH to report methamphetamine. To report an emergency on the road, call 1-800-525-5555 or star 55 on your cellular phone. If you've been the victim of a drunk driver, call 1-888-773-1800. Call us. We're there for you. A message from Sergeant Brent Bernhardt of the Missouri State Highway Patrol and KMEM.
A foggy day in London town had me low, had me down. I have viewed the morning old British Museum had lost its charm. How long, I wonder, could this thing last? But the age of miracles hadn't passed, for suddenly.
And we're back on Healthy You. 25 till the hour, talking with Angela Hawes and you about radiology stuff as the new radiology department takes form over at Scotland County Hospital. And boy, you're going to be wowed when you go in there. You're going to have a special waiting room too, right?
Yeah.
For your folks?
Actually, we're all going to have all the ancillary services, lab,
the outpatient area,
cardiopulmonary, and x-ray will have a special waiting room. And it's going to be right across the hall from my department.
Yes, indeedy. I tried holding my breath for a minute. It didn't. Somebody says, your chest has moved. No, it's not. I'm not breathing.
Oh, yeah. You're like the actor who's supposed to be dead. I saw you breathing.
I'll tell you one thing that just really made me feel really good about the radiology department, and that's just walking through it. I'll say this. I may be in trouble, but I'll say it anyway.
You've never let that stop you before,
Never
so go
have,
ahead.
Never have. The facility is up to the qualifications and meets the standard of the staff now that's there.
Oh, thank you, bud.
You're welcome.
I feel the same way, though. We have worked in an area that was dated, very dated.
Your cave back there?
Yeah, my little hallway office.
Yeah.
It didn't give my staff enough credit as how good they are and the good job that we do at that hospital.
Yeah.
So I am very appreciative and the area, I just can't say enough about it. The hospital, I've been there long enough, and my mom used to work there, and I grew up there.
That's right.
It's my second home.
Yeah.
It's all my family, and I have a new house, and I love it.
It is beautiful. What are some of the other kind of things that people can have at Scotland County Hospital? Certain kind of tests that may involve a needle here or a biopsy there, and how do you assist in that along with the radiologist?
I think that if people don't realize the procedures that we can do there, I have a great group of radiologists that they come from Hannibal. They're amazing, their skill level. We have added LASIs, which is a lumbar injection that helps people that have back pain. Mm-hmm. And we get a lot of good comments from our patients from that. We can actually do biopsies too now with the CT scanner, with the ultrasound machine. These men and women are so good. We can do biopsies right there at the hospital.
Interventional radiology, as it's called, is probably one of the most rapidly expanding areas within medicine, because with the precise pictures that we were talking about now with the 64 slice and sort of getting quick answers, and ultrasound becoming ever more helpful in locating, there's a little spot we need to look at. Well, it's the kind of thing that 15, 20 years ago, schedule your biopsy.
Yeah.
You're in the operating room and we got to make an incision and tunnel our way down to the area.
Yeah.
Now they can put needles and tubes and do things and find answers very quickly, including even like lung biopsies and everything.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, we've done some lung biopsies and liver biopsies, and it just amazes me that, like you said, we had to go to surgery to find all this stuff,
Right.
and now I can look inside a human being with the ultrasound machine or with the CT machine and get very precise information just right there.
Bud had a question about virtual colonoscopy. You doing any of those?
We do not do those, actually, no. I'm
He's
still
trying
going
his
to leave
darndest.
that
Yeah.
to the surgeons.
He's
that
trying
do
his
those.
darndest to get out of that real colonoscopy. But no, Bud, I think you can
Virtual
run, but you can't hide.
colonoscopy. Can you work on that for me?
Well, it's true. President Obama had that. It was highly publicized, I think, shortly after he was inaugurated.
Right.
The problem with those are they're only helpful if they're negative. If it's totally clean, and they don't see anything. But very often, it's a high percentage that on the pictures of your colon, they see something, and then you have to have the colonoscopy
You have to
anyway.
go ahead and have it
And
anyway.
most of the time, it's a polyp, but even a small polyp's going to
Right.
show up. And not only for diagnostic purposes is interventional radiology useful, but I know in my field, in terms of gynecology, for certain pelvic abscesses, if there's a tubal abscess or if you get a pocket of problem, sometimes the best way to approach it is to have your friendly radiologist help you thread a little catheter into there to help, with the guidance of some imaging to help drain that. And I've
Right.
done that a few times over the years, and that can be helpful as well. So now those are usually done not every day, but on a certain day here, right?
Right. The radiologist comes to our facility every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's our Tuesday mornings are usually extremely busy because we have a lot of people that need a lot of special procedures, and him coming one day a week, we try to get everything done on that day.
Yeah.
So anybody that's ever had to wait, I apologize, but we cram in as much as we can, and they're very understanding. They'll stay as late as I need them to. So
Now, when it comes to the LESI, I guess we should caution folks that you don't want to call Angela and say, I'm having back pain, schedule my LESI. Get me in there. I want a lumbar epidural steroid injection because I need it, and I've got back pain. Whoa, wait a minute. Hang on.
Can you work me in between 4:30 and 5?
How does the patient navigate through that? They see their primary care doc?
Correct.
Or Dr. Weaver, I guess,
Right.
here our new orthopedist on Thursdays. Yeah.
Correct. And then they'll do a workup, and then they notify centralized scheduling,
Mhm.
who does the pre-sorting or whatever paperwork they have to acquire. We have a great centralized scheduling department. The 3 ladies that work in there are amazing. And then they call us, and they set up an appointment, and we always set it up for a Tuesday when the doctor is there, Dr. Hassan, and he does it for us when he comes in.
And I mentioned Dr. Weaver, and I know that I've communicated back and forth with you and your staff that, boy, she's just so happy to be here. And on Thursdays, she's seeing orthopedic patients. And, she's such a great communicator. She's let us all know as referring docs that, hey, alerted the radiology, hey, if someone has hip pain, knee pain, whatever, these are the kind of films that I need to get so I can do a thorough job. Because as I talked with her, she said this is actually part of the standard physical examination now, that x-ray.
Wow.
I really appreciate her thoroughness
Yeah.
because we get a new doctor in, we're not sure how they want things done. And she, right off the bat, let us know this is the way it is in black and white. And we really appreciate
And she'll be joining us next week on
Yes,
the
she
program.
will.
So Dr. Kathleen Weaver, orthopedist extraordinaire, will be on the program next week. So if you have any questions or comments then, please bring them to the table then. For folks who are new to the hospital scene and don't know all the staff, why don't we go through your staff, and just so when they meet these people, they'll put a name, and they'll know that you've mentioned them.
Okay, I should probably start off with Jim McClinic. Jim's been there for over 40 years.
Still working on developing a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah. we work on that every day.
He's
We
just
try
such
out
a
new jokes.
sourpuss.
I don't know what I would do without Jim there in the morning to get me started or tell me a joke or... He's the most helpful person.
He's
I
better
know.
than coffee.
He is better than coffee sometimes. Sometimes my coffee's more important. But he knows that. The second one I want to talk about is Jenny Mallett. She has been with me for 11 years, and I don't know where 11 years went to. That went by so fast. Jenny's very talented. She is the mammo supervisor. She does X-ray, CT, ultrasound, and mammography. Very smart, very quick to learn. I really depend on her when I decide I want to take a vacation, which isn't very often, but occasionally I do like to leave town. My next one is Deanna Rowland. She's been with me for 5 years. She also does mammography and CT and X-ray.
5 years.
5 years. I know. I don't know where the time went because it seems like she just started, but she's pretty amazing. She's my CT guru. She's very good at it. She catches on to everything very quick. And she really helps me out with my quality assurance stuff, too, because I kind of put her in charge of the dose report.
I'm writing all this down being 65.
Yeah. The last one I want to introduce, the second to the last one, I do have the one that works in Lancaster Clinic, but this is Eric Masden. He's been with me for 3 years. That went by so fast, too. He works by weekend shifts, so a lot of you probably see him on the weekend. I get a lot of positive comments. The sweetest kid in the world. He is so good with patients. I'm very appreciative of that. Caught right on to CT, does a lot of the specials with Jim. They work together very well. Everything goes very smoothly with those two. And then I have Shayna Bolin, and she is not at the hospital. She works over at Lancaster Clinic. She runs the X-ray department over there and keeps everything tip-top. I never have to worry about her. I just talk to her once a day to see how everything's going. And that's it. I don't even have to make a visit over there. She handles everything so well.
And we should mention that you do have literally a satellite office and facility over there.
Yes.
I mean, you don't have a CT scanner, but I mean, for basic plain films, Dr. Whitlock will now have, and as Dr. McNabb and, I have had and others have had that facility now. How long is that X-ray
that has been there a couple of years over at Lancaster. We went, the hospital itself went filmless in 2005. And ever since that happened, all of our images...
Went what?
Filmless.
Say that again.
It's a family show, Angela.
Not clothesless, filmless.
Oh, filmless.
Filmless.
That'll bring the business in. Wow.
So tell me about that. What's that mean?
That means that we no longer use film, except for mammography. That's the only thing that uses film. So that gave us the ability to go to Lancaster. Shayna can shoot an x-ray over there, run it through the system, and it can come right back over to the hospital and then shoot on down to the radiologist where they can read it. It's amazing. We no longer have to handle that piece of film. So I don't have to wait. I can remember back in the day when I had to actually drive the films down to a radiologist. My mother can tell you that too, because I'd ride with her when she used to do it.
Holy cow.
So it's come a long way from what it used to be.
And so she's over there at Lancaster, and she also, you'll see her when you check in over there, and she wears many hats as well. So
she does.
Taking pictures and greeting you at the desk and doing a lot of good work.
I remember when our facility started sending CDs down with patients along, and then the hospitals down there said, well, we can't do this.
Yeah, they couldn't even open them up, they didn't think. That's how far ahead we've been of all the hospitals up in this area.
And finally, I have to say that, again, to distinguish us from other places who, hey, they do a good job, okay? But we do a better job, because when it comes to radiology, 24/7. When I have doctors or people that are interested in working at our place or joining the staff or, and giving tours, one thing I'm very proud of is that, I know that, you've never said it overtly, but I know sometimes it is a bit inconvenient to come in at 3 o'clock in the morning when I need an ultrasound. Here comes smiling Angela or one of her staff, and I'm sorry, Angela, I had to call you in. No problem, that's what I'm here for. I mean, it's like, wow, what kind of pill are you taking?
With ice scraper in hand, yeah.
It's great. I mean, she's always happy about that. And to have that service, and yes, we have a ancillary reading service that reads called Nighthawk that gives preliminary services, and then the people in Hannibal will do an overread and go back and do another one. But to have not only lab like we've talked about, of course, 24-hour staffing and physicians with the ER, but to have the radiology available 24/7 like that is truly remarkable. I mean, you don't see that in just every hospital. So
no, you don't, especially
that's a testimony to you and your staff's dedication.
Very dedicated.
And you've been here now how long?
17 years.
17 years.
Just don't say that too loud.
Holy cow. Wow.
I cannot
I'm
believe
still
that.
29, so
I
don't know how that works out, but
and I know
it's doing good for you. Just stick with it.
You have driven a lot of positive change, and obviously you have a lot more ideas. We were just brainstorming here on where are we going next? What's happening next? And we'll be bringing those things to you as they evolve over time. Angela, thanks so much for being with us. Thanks for all you do for our patients, and I know for the doctors, thanks for all the services you guys provide. I can tell you, if you're in a big city and you're in my office and you need an ultrasound or something that's not urgent, we're going to schedule you for about 3 or 4 days later at the best. Here, not all the time, but very often, you can have that within, sometimes immediately, sometimes within an hour or two. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if folks appreciate the kind of customer service that you
ones that had to go to the big city do.
Yeah, well, no, that's right. And I mean, I appreciate it because I know what people have had to sit through before. So thanks so much for being with us. Thanks again. And keep us informed as things unroll. Okay?
I will. Thank you for having me.
When we have our big open house, I guess you'll be there proudly showing off the place.
I will.
Yeah.
I give tours anytime.
Yeah. It'll be like my wife, if she ever gets that new house, let's have this open house. I want to show you around. All right, guys. Thanks very much, Angela, for being with us.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to come back and talk about a story. Did you know that stress can bring you to Alzheimer's?
Yeah, but I forgot it.
Well, we're going to talk about some indications that maybe it's not too good to be a poor stress manager if you don't want to get your Alzheimer's before your time.
All right.
And open the lines for your phone calls. The numbers are 465-7225.
1-800-748-7875.
Stay tuned for more.
Hi, folks. This is Ed Gary and the Louisiana Cajun Aces. We can hardly wait to be in Herman, Missouri for the annual Cajun invasion of Stonehill Winery. We're bringing a bunch of our friends all the way up from the bayous just to show you some of our dance steps. There'll be plenty of Cajun food and cold wine. That's 3 days of singing and dancing with our good friends in Herman. Hey! You can't have a better time outside Louisiana. We guarantee you that.
That's the 23rd Annual Cajun Concert at Stonehill Winery in Herman, Missouri. 3 big shows, Friday night, July 6th from 6 to 10 p.m., Saturday, July 7th from 1 to 5 p.m., and Sunday, July 8th from 1 to 5 p.m. Tickets are $12 at the door of the pavilion. So come, rain or shine, to the Cajun Concert on the Hill at Stonehill Winery, July 6th.
You don't need a special event to head to Columbia, Missouri, because with each visit you'll find more excitement and something new, making it your own special event. Start with one of over 200 restaurants, many using local ingredients to create the most clever cuisine, and painted or performed, you'll find amazing art in Columbia. Fantastic festivals? Yep, we have those too, nearly a dozen filled a year. Wondering where to begin? Follow us on Twitter, find us on Facebook, or simply head to visitcolumbiamissouri.com. Produced in cooperation with the Missouri Division of Tourism.
Celebrate Independence Day at Columbia's 4th of July celebration, Fire in the Sky. The district in downtown Columbia will be the new location for live music, fun, and fireworks. Peace Park and Flat Branch Parks will host Columbia's favorite bands and kids' activities. After 9 p.m., enjoy a spectacular fireworks display. The event and parking is free. For more information, visit gocolumbiamo.com.
Missouri conservation agents work diligently throughout the year to ensure all resource users are following the regulations outlined in the Wildlife Code, but agents depend upon the public for help. Operation Game Thief is a way for everyone to get involved in protecting our natural resources. When a violation is observed, it may be reported to a conservation agent directly or by calling 1-800-392-1111. Remember, when people violate the Wildlife Code, they are stealing from you and me. This has been Missouri Conservation Agent Gary Miller.
A quarterback, a class clown, a natural leader. For those who died in the Vietnam War, the greatest tribute is to see them not just as names on the wall, but as the people they were. The Education Center at the wall will put faces to the names. It will preserve photos, letters, and mementos of veterans, so their stories and